Raw was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it was going to be very difficult to follow last week's show, which was in Atlanta, which was one of the bigger shows they've done in a while. And this was the go-home show to Fastlane. So I think a lot of this show was more heel-heavy. It was a lot more getting heat on the heels than it was building up big-time baby faces and big-time storylines. And we're heading into the pay-per-view now. You have Roman Reigns come out. And this week, he still cheered. I mean, Philly's behind him. I think they're going to eventually turn on him, I have to admit. But, they're not booing him at all or anything like that. The only time really got boos was later at Rollins, who came out. And when he got the boos was when they brought up Brock Lesnar, they brought up Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and the fans booed, which I don't blame. No one wants to see that again. But that was the really only negative thing you heard for Roman the whole night. The whole thing is Seth wants his title shot, and Roman has, he never actually lost a belt, but Roman still supports Seth, and he's saying, I will support you for the match, and he also wants to get the Shield back together, and Seth is hesitant. He doesn't know if Dean wants to, and he's still upset with Dean after he turned on the Shield. He destroyed the Shield the night Roman announced he had leukemia, but his whole mentality is, you know what, life's too short. You can't be worried about that. And they're still his brothers, and he still wants to reform the Shield. And Rollins says he finally agrees, and it looks like we're going to get a Shield reunion. Ambrose comes out, but out of nowhere, Elias kills Ambrose, hits him in the back with the guitar. Rollins and Reigns go up the ramp. Yeah, Elias retrieves, and then they just check on Ambrose, and Ambrose, he just walks off on them. So that's how you started off the show. In the back, you have the three anti-Shield, or three guys who are going to face the Shield. You have Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. It's a pretty shitty promo. Charlie Caruso interviews them, and of the three, I think Drew can be a star. Just the other two, they bore me to death. Corbin and Lashley, I think, are just absolutely boring. But I still think Drew has a lot of potential. So eventually you get a six-man tag. It's Balor, Strowman, and Angle against those three. The heels got the win. We knew they were going to get it. Lashley, he gets the spear for the 3 count. He gets the win for his team, and after the match, they all beat down the other two. They beat down Kurt Angle for a while, and he's their main target. He took the pin, and he gets his ass kicked here. And I don't know what they're going to do with Braun Strowman and Finn Balor for WrestleMania or Kurt Angle, but it looks like I think we're probably going to get Reigns and Ambrose. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing we're getting Reigns and Ambrose. And I don't know what the other two are going to get, but that's where I think we're going. I don't know. You might get some of these guys might get stuck in the Battle Royal because there's so many spots on this card and such a big roster. Heavy Machinery is being interviewed or talked about the problems they have with the Ascension. One thing I noticed, I really think that Otis they're going to push him heavily. They really like Otis. He can be a big star. They were really behind Otis. They have Natalya come out, which is a match with Ruby Riott. I don't even know why they're still working. It's like, this sucked. Natalya won, and what are they doing with Ruby Riott? They've killed her dead. Then the Riott Squad attacks Natalya. Lacey Evans walks up the ramp, walks back, which I don't know why the hell Lacey Evans is getting her spot at WrestleMania. There's rumors she might get a match with Asuka at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title, which is absolute bullshit. Lacey Evans has done absolutely nothing. They're so behind her. I've heard that Dave Meltzer's reported this. They love Lacey Evans so much that they want her to be one of the 3 biggest female stars in the company. That's how big they want her to be. They want there's assuming Ronda's going to leave after WrestleMania. They want the top 3 female stars in the company to be Becky, Charlotte, and Lacey Evans, which is fucking terrible. She sucks. She has nothing in the ring. She's average. In the back, it's Stephanie McMahon. I don't give 2 fucks about these 2 Saturday Night Live hosts. I don't give a shit about them. I don't even know if they're going to be back for WrestleMania. I don't know what in the hell they're going to get some kind of hosting job. I don't give a fuck about either one of these guys. Who gives a shit? Fuck Saturday Night Live and fuck whatever. You have Triple H come out, and this was a thing that you can expect Vince Russo to book. We had a lot of Russo stuff here on the show with Triple H and with Ronda, but we'll get to her later. Triple H comes out and he talks about Richard Fleer. He basically cuts Ric Flair's real name. He uses his shoot name. He talks about how Batista attacked him and everything Flair's been through. He brought up how Flair was at his wedding, and then he even goes and talks about when he saw Flair at his son's funeral, Reid Flair's funeral, which after that one segment they had with Charlotte and Paige, and they're still using Reid Flair to sell a segment. Are you fucking kidding me? Why? Why do you have to do this? Why are you using this kid? He was 19, using his death in the storyline. It's been 6 years. Why are you doing this? Just fuck off. Stop exploiting this young man's death. Fucking pathetic, this company. After that, he goes and he basically breaks kayfabe, says, you're not going to see Triple H. I was thinking, oh shit, you're going to see Paul Levesque, but you're going to see the man. I hated this segment. Why do we have to break the fourth wall? Why do you have to break kayfabe? They're clearly breaking kayfabe, and he ripped into Batista. He called him a quitter, which is kind of what he said last time when Batista left. He says, when the fans don't give you the reaction you want, you quit, which, what happened was basically Batista's made far more money than he ever would have in WWE that he went on to make in Hollywood. So, you call him a quitter. He left because his movie career exploded. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy, when the first movie came out, I think the whole plan was for Batista to leave to go make that movie. But if that movie really took off, and his movie career took off, I think they were just going to let him concentrate on that. But I think had that movie flopped, and no one thought that was going to be a huge hit. Had it not done so, I think he would have been back in WWE. But they had the whole thing with they're going to sell this heavily. This is one of their top matches at WrestleMania. It's probably Batista's final match, I think it is. And I think this is a big match for Triple H too. Triple H is the babyface. I think he's probably going to win this match because I don't think he's retiring. And I think if Batista's retiring, it makes sense for him to lose. So I see Triple H as the favorite in this match. But yeah, it was what it was. I'm just not a big fan of, I hate breaking kayfabe. So they show what happened to Ronda Rousey last week. They have Stephanie McMahon being interviewed by one of the women. I don't know if I remember if it was Charlie or Kayla Braxton or Kathy Kelly, but she rips Ronda Rousey, says it was blasphemy how she left the title in the ring. She talks about how she dropped all the charges on Becky, suspensions lifted, and she announces it's Charlotte and Becky for the Raw Women's title at Fastlane, which would be changed later, so that was not a surprise. They show Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the back, and Ambrose doesn't want to talk. He's preparing for his match. So you have a big gauntlet match. You have 4 jobber teams, 3 jobber teams in the heavy machinery. You have the B team, Ascension, and Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. So you have 3 shit teams, 3 bottom teams in the company. And Heavy Machinery destroys everybody. They win it. I don't even know what they were going to even get. I don't know if they're going to get a title shot. They probably will against the Revival. I could see them beating the Revival. It wouldn't shock me at all. But they're really behind Otis. I don't know what's going to happen to Tucker. They just use their names, Otis and Tucker. So if Vince really gets behind Otis, Tucker's fucked because Vince will always split up the tag team to get the single star over, even though he doesn't realize that the two work better as a duo, even though if one's more over than the other, the team is over. If they just split them, I think Tucker Knight's fucked. So he is. Sorry, Tucker. They showed Tori Wilson's being inducted in the Hall of Fame. This has got some controversial online. There's some people saying she doesn't deserve it. She was never anything in the ring, but she was smoking hot. We all know how attractive Tori Wilson was. She still is. Looks great, but they pushed her heavily. She got a big reaction. It depends on how you look at it. She's a much bigger star than a lot of the women they've inducted into the Hall of Fame, so I don't think it's a huge deal to me. If you want to go in-ring skills, no, of course not, but in terms of star potential, she was heavily pushed on SmackDown. She was over. The fans really liked her. It's hard. I'd say yes. You can say she doesn't deserve it. I mean, we can say that about so many guys who are far less stars. And a lot of the women they've been inducting were nowhere near as big of a star as she was. So I think she, based on that, I don't have no problem with her being in. So they announced on Pittsburgh next week they're going to have Triple H and Batista face off. So I guess Batista hates Pittsburgh a lot less than he hates Philly. Even though Pittsburgh, I think, is the one who booed him out of the building during that Royal Rumble. And Philly was the next year, was even worse at Reigns. They should have fucked. I like Titus O'Neil, but I don't give a fuck about these two Saturday Night Live idiots. They show Charlotte in the back. She's cutting a promo. She's such a third reel heel. She has no business in this match. Why is she here? It's like she's here because she's Charlotte. They love her. I mean, people think she's going to win the title. I think Becky's probably going to win, but would it shock me to see Charlotte win? Absolutely not. Not at all. Vince, I mean, they are so far behind Charlotte. She's their top dog. They are really behind her. I would not be surprised at all to see her win. It wouldn't shock me if Becky's the plan all along and, like, Vince says, Charlotte, and he just puts the belt on Charlotte. And I think that would just, and the fans the next day are going to be so mad, and then it's going to cause a huge shit. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They should not put the title on her. Elias is cutting a shitty promo on the fans. I don't care. He has a match with Ambrose. Elias gets the win. So, yeah, Ambrose, I don't even know. I mean, he's not leaving. I think he's going to stay. I think they're going to keep him with the company. I don't think he's going to leave in April. I think they're negotiating, and he's going to sign another extension. He'll stay, and they'll just turn this into a storyline. Get to see Reigns and Ambrose at WrestleMania. So, Rollins and Reigns come out. They want to help Ambrose. Ambrose just leaves the crowd, and then the other three come out. Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre, and they have a standoff, and eventually Ambrose reunites with the Shield. And, it's on. So we have a six-man tag at Fastlane. Shield against McIntyre, Corbin, and Lashley. So you have Sasha Banks and Tamina Snuka randomly. Tamina wins. Why are they having Tamina win? I don't know. They're pushing Nia Jax. Like, it would have made sense for Nia to beat Bayley and then Tamina to beat Sasha. Because I think they're going to have Bayley and Sasha as the champions. But I don't know why they had to have Bayley pin Nia Jax, but they have Tamina pin Sasha Banks, and Tamina's not a star at all, and I don't even know why. They're having Sasha, who they still, I think, value as a star. They have to get the other two over. It didn't make any sense of Bayley beat Nia last week. These two, I don't give a fuck about these idiots. I'm not going to even talk. Fuck Saturday Night Live. Fuck you, Saturday Night Live. You're fucking not funny. You're fucking a shit show. Fuck Saturday Night Live. So you have Ricochet and Aleister Black cutting an average promo. And you have a tag title match. You have Ricochet is just not very good on the mic. Neither is Black, but you have a tag title match, Revival against them. And Ricochet and Black get a DQ win. And they eventually the other two fight back and they take them out. So I guess they're building to a match. Maybe we get it next week. Or I don't think they're going to get a tag title match at Fastlane, but they're building to a feud with the two teams. Finally, the main event segment, Stephanie's out with the title. She brings out Charlotte. It's going to be Charlotte and Becky, and then Becky comes out. And they had to go through legal hoops to make this happen. And then they show Ronda Rousey come out. They showed her in the garage arriving, and she makes her way to the ring, and she is pissed off. She says she's not going to entertain us anymore. This is Ronda Rousey's heel turn. Ronda's gone full heel now. She's not going to entertain anybody. She's going to do it for real. Everyone knows I can break your noses. Just goes full on. Like, she was breaking kayfabe on Twitter. Ronda, this is going to be wrestling's fake, MMA is real, stuff like that. It's going to be like Dana White's tweet that set all of the wrestling Twitter on fire a few years ago. We're going to go with that angle. We had Ronda beat the living shit out of Becky Lynch. She beats up Becky really bad here. Gives her the arm bars, beating down Becky, punches her. Charlotte's a coward. She just walks in. Ronda hit Charlotte first, but then she really beats up Becky bad. Ronda stands tall, and then they show Stephanie in the back with, I think it's Charlie. And she says, well, Ronda is just, rips into Ronda. It's like, are they going to have Ronda Rousey as a top babyface? The way Stephanie's talking about her, it's like, that's going to get Ronda over. But then she eventually announces it's Becky and Charlotte. And if Becky wins, it's a triple threat. I don't know why. It still has to be a triple threat. I don't know why we just can't get Ronda and Becky. They have to get Charlotte involved. But it's Becky and Charlotte. And if Becky wins, it's a triple threat at WrestleMania.